Kina wamama mbeleni walikuwa na toka mbali kutafuta maji, lakini sasa wakati waliona hii sola walikaribia na wana shida. Mbeleni kulikuwa na shida kidogo ya unajua ile ya wanaume, ukiona mama anatembea peke yake wanaweza kufanya chochote.
Mbeleni hatuna school fees ya watoto ya kusoma, madrasa yote, na sisi pia nyumbani imeunganishwa. Wazee wote wamefurahi sana.
Hawa wananchi wamekaa katika kijiji tofauti na wakapanga mipango yao, na hiyo ndio ina address shida ya wananchi hapa.
Zamani tunaona contractor anakuja anafanya kazi, hatujui imetokezea wapi, inaelekea wapi. Lakini Dr. DIP inakuja inamwambia watu, wananchi mnataka nini? Wenyewe wanasema
badala ya sisi kukaa nyumbani na kuongojea mzee atuletee chakula, sisi tunaenda unauza sabuni, kufikia jioni mtoto amepata chakula.
This is a desert area. We have the same issue, but how the community management here is well than Djibouti.
Thanks for building up the library, like we used to borrow the books from neighboring schools. So now it has helped us.
Youth empowerment, 18 groups katika Delta Ward wamepewa 500,000 each group.
One can only say, I wish we had done this 20 years ago. This is a project that needs to be supported.
Recent estimates put refugee population in Kenya at about 500,000 people, and that makes the country the second largest host to refugees on the African continent, second only to Uganda.
Hosting the refugees for the last 3 decades have had an impact on the environmental factors, whereby you have the trees which are around this area have been cut to provide a source of fuel in the form of charcoal. They also require facilities in terms of healthcare. In addition, again, the moment you are having so many people, crime rate also goes up.
The refugees and the host communities have a complex relationship which has been regarded by the host communities as privileged and favored. The presence of refugees in the 3 project counties had impacted negatively on the host communities and deepened their poverty levels.
There was a skewed delivery of services between the locals and the refugees. So much so that there was very glaring difference between the host community and the refugees.
I once got a story from a local priest who told me a boy turned up in his office and said, "Can you make me a refugee?" And the boy said, "Why would you want to be a refugee?" He said, "But for being a refugee, I'll get a pen, I'll get food. But now with this kind of project, there's some equality that is coming."
KDRDIP is implemented through Community-Driven Development (CCD) approach and is designed to reduce the impacts caused by long-standing presence of refugees in target areas of Dadaab, Fafi, and Lagdera in Garissa County, Wajir South in Wajir County, and Turkana West in Turkana County.
We usually involve communities in a process called Community Development Driven Approach, where the communities are the ones who identify their needs, they prioritize their needs, they budget for them, they implement, and they account for the resources which we have given them. So money flows from the national account to the county account and subsequently to sub-project accounts in each of the sub-projects or community groups which are on the ground. Once they have received money, they use the documents which they have submitted to access the money and then account for it. from procurement to tendering to evaluation to award. It's entirely the responsibility of the communities to make sure that they do that.
KDRDIP targets to benefit a combined population of just 1 million members of the host communities in the 5 sub-counties.
The communities that have hosted our refugees for the last 30 years are targeted to benefit from 10 billion shillings Kenya got from the World Bank, and also 800 million shillings from the Danish government.
We have partners whom we are working with, who train the community, identify with the help of the community, they identify the community needs, then they consolidate that now into our community development plans.
We reach them by meeting them under trees, public barazas, or we call them community assemblies. This is where we educate them about the project, how they can benefit from the project, and how they can sustain the projects that they have identified.
I think this is the 3rd year for this project, and we've not had a lot of grievances, simply because the project has been well communicated. The communities have been sensitized and mobilized very well. From the word go, they have taken the lead role of identifying up to the monitoring. They are the ones who again approve for the contractor to be paid. Our ears listen to the community. If there is no any grievance from the community or the people who live in that village, even if you would come in and want to tell us whatever you want to tell us, nobody will even listen to you.
The KDRDIP components help the communities to participate fully in development projects that directly affect their lives and those of members of the community.
In the financial year 2019-2020, that's the first year that we implemented KDRDIP in Turkana. We located 8 sub-projects and then 40 community groups with a total allocation of 43 million Kenya shillings last year, 2020-2021. Turkana County allocated 879 million Kenya shilling to work in various also areas, which includes education sector, health sector, water, agricultural, and also in terms of improving environment. We supported also 608 community groups in Turkana County.
Hii mradi imeleta 4.2 billion Garissa. 1.3 billion inaenda kwa women for women. Kwa hospitali tuko na 500 million, kutengeneza classrooms tuko na 380 million. There is money for vulnerable groups. Hiyo pesa watu wanakuja kupanda miti, kupanda nyasi ya ng'ombe, ndio ng'ombe zipate chakula, na ni 400 million.
KDRDIP is implemented through 4 components, which are social and economic services and infrastructure, sustainable environment management, livelihoods program and project management, monitoring and evaluation, and knowledge sharing.
Component 1 is the one which deals with the basic social facilities which are needed by the community. In the financial year 2019-2020, this was during the COVID time, so we basically concentrated on WASH projects. That is water, sanitation, and hygiene. And that year we did about 108 sub-projects in the 5 sub-counties to a tune of around 118 million. We were equipping boreholes, solarizing them, and in some few cases we are also doing new ones. This financial year, 2020-2021, we also dispersed some money to the communities, around 1.53 billion. We are doing projects like boreholes from start up to equipping up to completion. And in the 5 sub-counties, we have done 34 boreholes, and those boreholes are yielding about 10 cubic meters per hour. We also have in the health sector. We have done a number of health facilities, which include dispensaries, the level 1, level 2, constructing and also equipping them. As per last financial year, we had done 124 health facilities. For schools, we have done more than 200 classes. And we are also equipping those classrooms.
Sisi tunashukuru kwa hii project ya Dr. DIP kwa sababu sisi tuko na changamoto mingi sana kama madarasa, dormitory, teachers quarters, but ile ilikuwa identified na tukapewa, we say thanks for that, na bado inaendelea.
Many girls dropped the school before the school was built. They get married and now they join the school and study. Thanks for building up the library. Before it was built, we have faced many challenges, like we used to borrow the books from neighboring schools. So now it has helped us. Many students read the books and they improve their languages.
Zamani wasichana yetu walikuwa wanatoka shule mapema sababu ya shida nyingi sana. Hata hawako wanajiweza kupata hiyo sanitary bands ya kupata. Mtu msichana akifikisha tu age adolescence alikuwa anakataa shule sababu anaogopa wenzake wachekelee kwa darasa. Lakini saa hii wasichana tunatafuta hata wale wakubwa kurudisha shule still wasome wenye walikuwa wametoka zamani.
The area we are in, we only have the nurse, the chief and the teachers, meaning that the economy of this village entirely lies in the hands of these three people I've mentioned. So with such a project, one brings unity and cohesion. And the transparency, it also enhances transparency in the community. So like when we began, we've never had any squabbles with the community that, oh, I wish you would have given me this tender. It has also opened their ways that they are not supposed to remain within this circumference. They have to get out. In other words, they need to mingle with other people from other places. And when you mingle, then it means you are broadening your thinking.
Tulikuwa tunaenda safari tutafute dawa. Sasa tumefaida sana. Tuko na hospitali, tuko na maternity. Tunashukuru sana.
An aboyal kalapetade kanaka aryaman tikolongi chenane apaibon long agipi aranye bu aperjuna kerkarti wa kure ane apaibon kiperadwane kalnon tokona kwarna haro togni anga tokoni atananglo gijege atarya mchangde kayeni aja kon mamnyari ya korong tonga kwa kurengi diari egeringolo ejokono idakta
Component 2 comprises of environment and natural resources and energy, and was allocated about 21% of the budget, that is 2.1 billion. In the first year of implementation, the project allocated about 5.8 billion Kenya shillings into the 5 sub-counties. Our restorative measures as a project have focused on rehabilitating these lands, tree planting, natural regeneration, reseeding for pasture, and also addressing the invasive species that also has contributed in terms of reducing the availability of pasture for the livestock. In fact, in component 2, we have what we call labor-intensive public works, LIPW approach. People are paid for producing seedlings. People are paid for construction of the water and conservation structures. And I must confess that information and awareness on environmental conservation has tremendously increased.
Tumefaidika tukiwa community ya Lehelei na hii project ya KDRDIP. Wamejifunza mengi juu ya hii maneno ya nursery establishment. Hii mradi ilikuwa imechelewa kabisa. Hii nursery ikimea, tutakuwa kwamba hii environment yote itakuwa imekuwa na mamiti na watu watanunua na tupate pesa. Bado ile mtu anafanya kazi anapata malipo ya siku ambayo wanaenda nayo nyumbani. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru serikali yetu ya Kenya kutuletea program kama huu na tunafurahia kabisa.
Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am very grateful for this project because it is strengthening our role as Kenya Forest Service. It is also addressing a huge problem that has existed for a very long time.
KDRDIP also supports the traditional and non-traditional livelihoods sub-component to increase productivity. It aims at improving lives of pastoralists, agro-pastoralists through enhancing the production and productivity of livestock, goats, camels, cattle and poultry, and dryland farming with emphasis on rebuilding pastures.
The livelihood component follows a single cycle implementation process, which is a step-by-step process. Groups must be listed as existing within the village, formed through the group's own initiatives. They must be running a business or have ability to run business. And the members must be from what we call the active poor of the community. So once that's done, they are taken through transfer of skills through training, which include group dynamics management, leadership, conflict management, 5 core principles, business planning. And the groups that have satisfied are supported by a facilitating partner to select an enterprise they want to undertake. They develop what we call a business plan, and those which are seen to be viable are recommended for funding.
Tulipata pesa kutoka kwa KDRDIP. Tulipata pesa 1,500. Tulianza kufanya biashara ya sabuni, kuuza sabuni. Imekuwa ni bora sana. Badala ya sisi kukaa nyumbani na kuongojea mzee atuletee chakula, sisi tunaenda unauza sabuni. Kufikia jioni mtoto amepata chakula. Halafu tena hii pesa sisi tunakopesha, shule ikifunguliwa tunakopesha, unapeleka mtoto kwa shule.
Sisi tumesanya tu, tumeanza hii kazi, tumesema tufanye hii kazi, tuendelee, na imekuwa mzuri. Tunafanya kazi sasa mwaka moja hivi tunafanya.
Ile pesa tumepata, tumefurahi sana. Mbeleni hatuna school fees ya watoto ya kusoma, madrasa yote, na sisi pia nyumbani imeingarishwa. Wazee wote wamefurahi sana.
Tunaona tunapata faida kama 10,000 tunaweza pata tukitoa mafuta, mfanyakazi wa shamba pia. Tungeomba hata serikali atusaidie, atuchimbie kisima ingine ambaye hii shamba tupanuliwe vizuri.
Safari ya kwanza tumepanda tomato, na ile tomato ile tuliweka tulipata 184,000 Kenya shillings kama faida. Alafu tumepanda hiyo kitunguu sasa, tunatarajia tunaweza kupata kama 300,000.
Sisi kama kikundi ya Kalobakori, mwezi uliopita tulikuwa tumepeana shilingi karibu 1,200. Kila mtu anachukua na anarudisha. Hata akiwa na ufungufu ya biashara kiasi, atawasilisha kwamba leo nimeleta nusu, kwa sababu ya ile pesa ambayo iko juu isije ikaongezeka.
The purpose for us to start Murungole is to improve our community. We need some more people to develop Juakali industry. So far we have a workshop. This year, KDRDIP gave us money. I took the loan, Murungole tape banking, and I'm still paying the watoto wanaenda shule.
Youth empowerment, 18 groups katika Dirt Ward wamepewa 500,000 each group. Na hao vijana kama hawangekaa bila pesa na wangeleta insecurity katika nchi yetu ya kitaifa.
KDRDIP has quickly delivered a number of flagship projects that has raised the resilience of the refugee hosting communities, brightened their prospects of life and livelihoods of the vulnerable groups in fundamental ways.
Muhakikishe mumeweka watu ya kutosha katika every locality ndio waweze kusaidia community kusustain hizi project.
The water supply systems have been improved. Agricultural aspect has been introduced. On education, most of the schools, got a number of classrooms, and they were very happy. So in every aspect of it, the project has been supportive to the community, and the county has ensured that it will stand by the project to its logical conclusion.
Health facilities are being constructed. Flood irrigation, rain-fed agriculture bowl, supply of water that is a problem. Turkana's problem is water, water. The priority is water, water, water. So the project is in line with the National Development Agenda, which is to actually improve the asset of this country. One can only say, I wish we had done this 20 years ago. This is a project that needs to be supported so that it continues to provide for the poor Turkana citizens.
Going by the testimony of the communities that have interfaced with KDRDIP initiative, the CDD appears to be the choice vehicle for delivering development at community in all instances.